Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a preview video of Cysmic.
Absolutely.
Now listen, this is going to be a quick video because we want to keep your attention.
Absolutely.
We want you to watch this. We want you to check out how cool this game is. We want to talk about the highs, the lows, what might make it right for you or wrong for you, because I will be honest about this game.
Yep.
It is coming from an indie publisher.
It sure is.
It has a ton of passion, heart, and soul put into it, and so I want it to succeed. And on top of that, I also understand that it coming from an indie publisher, it being a passion project, does not necessarily mean it's the right game for you, the consumer.
Truly fair.
We are going to break that down.
Absolutely.
We also have a full sponsored gameplay video alongside this video that you should go watch and check out if you want a longer breakdown and want to see how the mechanics engine works and runs. So, West Todd.
Absolutely.
Set up in 60 seconds the lore of Cysmic.
So Cysmic is we have left Earth and we have gone to a new planet referred to as Cysmic, and we started terraforming that planet. Well, many factions got to that location at the same time. They started terraforming the planet like crazy, to the point where they actually started to over-terraform the planet and create a very, very thin crust. So now we started to see seismic actions, or seismic abilities and things that have started to happen to crash the actual crust into the ground, and we've realized that we need to get off this planet as quickly as possible. The unfortunate thing is that we need the blueprints to be able to build our entire ship, and as a faction, you only control the blueprint of your own faction. Everybody else has their own blueprints, so you need to figure out a way to get all the blueprints back from everybody else and take off before they do, because the first ship that takes off will destroy the rest of the planet.
This game asks the question, what happens after terraforming Mars?
Yes.
And that's the title of this video. Let me first break down the three coolest things about this game, stuff that will determine whether or not this is going to be right for you or wrong for you. First off is going to be the card play specifically. You have 10 cards in your hand. Every full phase of the game will be broken down into 5 actions with 5 active cards and 5 burned or discarded cards.
Correct.
These cards have standard abilities, moving troops, gaining resource, getting more position on the board, or building your colony ship, which is the way that you escape. On top of that, they have secondary abilities that are based on your cards. They're based on the module board that you have, on your specific factions that are asymmetric, and on any other relics or other abilities that you have. If you like a type of card action selection play where powers get I stumbled over my words there.
That's fair.
If you like a type of card play where powers and abilities get stronger as the game continues to progress, where things get more and more interesting, and where you're looking over to your opponent and you're reading and you're saying, I wonder if he's put down his battle card.
Has he done this one yet?
Because if he has, I'm actually at an advantageous spot. Wes, the second thing that might make people interested in this game.
If you want to see your turn make a difference and other people's turns keep you involved in the game, that is a huge part about why the creator created this specific style of game. There is not one section on this board that isn't relatively close to every other section because of the way he's laid it out. And that means that every single player turn, you have the potential where you could get involved in combat. Something could happen to you. A piece of this board may fall away and you may end up being sucked into the abyss because of it.
Every single shift, structure, break, fracture, or other troop movement and position has you questioning your own spot and whether or not you're a threat, an enemy, an ally, or need to do some type of over-the-board negotiation in this game. It plays fast. It plays clean, and it really does involve a ton of players interacting with each other. And the last thing, the main thing that I think should compel you to this is that the publisher is going to try to sell you that this game plays best at 4 or 5. 3
it can play up
maybe.
To 6.
But you should go check out our 2-player gameplay.
It's
because there is a
too.
compelling game here, even at lower player counts. And a game of this genre, a full-on troop movement, skirmish-style game that scales up like that, where everything still feels crunchy, everything feels like a tactical movement, everything feels like a threat, where it comes down to maybe the difference of a turn or 2 as to who is going to be the victor. This game involves a ton of take that, a ton of close interaction, and plays really well at every player count we've experienced so far. Now, granted, I have not tried out 6.
That's true.
I would like to, but I also argue that few and far between do games play good
at 6.
Yeah.
I will also say there's another hidden component that you haven't talked about yet. There's not a whole lot of math, and for people who aren't as good at maths like me, This is fantastic. It's very simple as far as that part goes. I worry when I hear, oh, skirmish game, then shields and things. No, this is so simple. It's so easy. It's very quick. And you don't have to be good at math.
We've set up the lore. We've set up that this is an indie game that we would like to see do very well.
Yes.
We've set up 3 compelling features of the game. Anyone that's watching at this point is here for 2 reasons. First, they're here to get a general overview and structure of what this is. I'm going to loft that up and you can spike the volleyball in just a second.
Okay.
The second is that at the end of this video, because we're being so blatantly positive, we will tell you our caveats. We will tell you our concerns. We will let you know the stuff that maybe might not make this right for you. So please stay tuned. West, what's the general structure of this game? How does a general round or gameplay flow go?
Yeah, so basically the first player is going to take a card out of their tin, they're going to burn it, flip it face down, then they're going to take the actions on the card that they placed face up. You'll go from the top of the card down to the bottom of the card, doing each action individually should you desire to do so. And then at the very bottom there are these color pieces, these pips down at the bottom. You'll take one of those actions based on your actual player board. There are multiple different actions followed by those different colors. You can choose one of them based on that different color that you've set down there. And then that is the end of your turn. Then the next player gets to go. And that sounds like it might not be a whole lot, but let me tell you can push movement and do all kinds of crazy things throughout this board. And that ability to go, which card do I not want for the rest of this entire 5 turns before I actually have to reload and do this whole thing again? That is an interesting puzzle in and of itself.
One of the things I should have mentioned before doing this video is that there is this game looks intimidating.
It does look intimidating.
And the moment I started learning it, I saw the text on the cards, I saw the text on the board, it then all clicked.
It's very intuitive.
It is a very well-designed game when it comes to knowing and flowing the process of game.
Absolutely.
For instance, all these purple cards are going to deal with gaining purple gems, the resource that you need to actually build and construct. Your miners are going to be the guys that are running around grabbing small batches of them. Your harvesters are going to be the upgraded type of unit. They're going to be getting more of it, but they're a little bit less mobile. And your upgrade is going to be the ability that allows you to take that purple resource and convert people into higher units, like your miners to your harvesters, or for instance, your soldiers into your power mechs. Now look at these. Your red cards are going to deal with battle and warfare, just like the red dice that they're going to roll. Your soldiers are going to be your single unit troops. They're going to be like your miners when it comes to the combat side of the game. They can be upgraded with purple gems through that upgrade card to power mechs. These are going to be the big badasses. They're the counterpart to your harvesters. They do more damage. They move a little faster. They also destroy the earth as they go. Be careful with them.
Very fun.
Your battle card is going to be how you trigger all those fights. It's almost as if everything is very well laid out and
that's an interesting
down.
point to talk about there, the battle card, because just because you've locked people into battle doesn't mean a battle actually happens after that point or at the end of that turn. You have to actually play a card to start a battle, and the person who's the one who initiated the combat in the first time, or the lock in the first place, the engagement, doesn't actually have to be the one who plays the first battle card. It's crazy.
Hey, Wes, you know how I have this little golden cube over here?
I sure do.
And it attaches down to this golden level here that's talking about the influence that I have around the board.
Amazing.
It's almost like I have 2 cards in my hand that immediately play off of that.
Incredible.
The speaker is going to be the unit that's moving around the board, gaining different locations, gaining treaties in different locations, and upping that little golden cube. Golden card, golden cube. It almost like it makes sense. Your recruit action is going to be the thing that's referencing your golden cube to decide how many of your other troops you get to bring out onto the tableau. The last 2 cards we have are a little bit more unique, but they're meant to be colony ship. That's going to be a great card. That's because you're going to be utilizing it to actually do the end of the game. It is how you are building, constructing, closing off the final sequence, trading in units that you've captured from your opponents during battles in order to finalize and take off.
Correct.
And it moves every single potential troop. Gray, absorbing all the colors, you understand what I'm saying. And green is going to be where you do a little bit of scurvy action with your opponent. And that makes sense because it's how you might steal technology from your opponent. If you notice these little green checkmarked areas, that's the stuff you're trying to get for the end of the game. This game is built to make sense. This game tells you the rules as you play. This game plays so darn smoothly.
It does. It's very fun.
What more do we need to say about this, West?
You know, I think a lot of people might be a little nervous because it does come from a first-time creator, but I have to tell you, this guy's put tons of time and effort into creating this beautiful game, and it really shows it when you're actually playing the game because it is so smooth, it is so easy. So it's one of the times when I would say
I was nervous when I first started looking at it. I think people have a right to be.
Of course.
I also think that this is going to be one of those games that Kickstarter and the Kickstarter version of it for at least a season is the way you're going to be able to get this.
Yeah.
There are some games that will come to retail. There are some games that are made by publishers that should just go to retail. There are some games where you don't need it all.
Sure.
This is one of those indie projects. And this is not the reason to back unless you're interested and compelled by it.
For sure.
This is one of those indie projects that's going to be sold in a deluxeified fashion at a limited marketplace for a limited period of time. And I do think the publisher's going to do well enough. He's going to deliver fast enough. He's going to relaunch. He's going to do a second campaign. It's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yep.
But that's years before you get a second wave of this. This is your chance to get this game.
Yeah.
Really is.
It is really, yeah.
Okay. That is a lot of praise, especially a lot of praise for a publisher where you have a sponsored gameplay video.
For sure.
That being said, let's go ahead and give the caveats, the overview and the things people should be aware of before backing this, because I tell this to people. I want everyone to back this game. And I want no one who will not like this game to back this game. I'm not trying to tell you, the audience, to go out and support this for the sake of supporting this.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you that there's some of you out there that will enjoy this. And if I think you'll enjoy this, I want to let you know why and how. What are the gray areas that might make this not playable? And I'll be honest. You can tell it from the footprint here. This is a big game.
Yeah,
it takes up a lot of table space. Even at 2 players or 4 players, there's a big table here that's fairly heavily covered.
Yeah.
I think if you're planning to play this with a large game group, not just as a 2-player head-to-head, this is one of those games where you're going to need a little bit of stretch room to get it out to the table.
It's got a big table presence.
Yeah.
I will say that the setup is a little bit daunting. The third time I set this game up, it wasn't quite as bad as the first 2, but
there's a lot of tiles.
There's a lot of tiles.
It's tiles on tiles, and they flip and they export, and it's a very cool mechanic, but it takes a little bit of pre-setup.
It does take some setup.
I think this might be a game that initially, on first impressions, if your game group is not used to playing games like this, Twilight Imperium, Eclipse Dawn for the Second, this is lighter than both of those games.
Significantly lighter.
But looks as if it is not.
It's very true.
And so if you're trying to talk a game group into playing it, and you sometimes have trouble talking your game group into joining for a brand new title, this one is actually easy. It is actually accessible, but some people might just give you a gut check pushback off of the style, the look, and the amount of text that's here on the board.
Very true.
Along with that, this is a very mean game.
Yeah, if you don't like player interaction, if you don't like a little bit of take that, man, this game is definitely not for you.
There could be feel-bad moments where you rip the last resource the person needs or take down their power mech and refuse to give it back under duress.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of take that. There's a lot of interaction. It's designed to be that type of game. If that is not your style, which it is both of ours, this will not be a sing-song for you. While we have praised 2-player to the moon, I don't think this would stay in my collection as just a 2-player game. I think I would play it as a 2-player game.
Sure.
But I think I would also want to be able to have a game group that's maybe 3 and 4.
For sure.
That I will also regularly and consistently get this game to the table with.
Yeah.
I think it requires both. One of the reasons why I love 2-player here is because you and I love going head-to-head. We get to experiment with a faction. We get to refine our strategy.
Yep.
And then, selfishly, I want our other game group to come over. I want Sheer to sit down and play. I want to practice, and then I want to apply that practice to situations with larger people.
That's very
And watch everything unfold.
Yep.
And I want to play 2-player against them as well. It goes both ways, but I don't think it's a solely 2-player game.
I definitely agree. This board is way too big for it just to be 2 players as well.
Any other major thoughts, major considerations when it comes to whether or not people should back this?
I think we nailed the majority of them. I can't think of anything else that's specific beyond the things that we have already talked about. I mean, the game, like you said, it's big. You should have not just 2 players, because I think it really sails at 3 and 4, and probably would be great at the higher player counts too. There's a little bit of setup time, and it's a lot to move around. Like if you're not the one hosting your player group, this box is probably going to be pretty big and very heavy.
Yeah, but other than that, this is the type of game that Kickstarter is designed to create.
Yeah, man.
And both Wes, Todd, and I are very public and very straightforward about the fact that we are biased in favor of things like this.
Absolutely.
We want to see more games like this. We want to see more people experimenting in this space and in this community. And we want to see more publishers that are coming and doing something unique, something new.
Go out of your way and do something different.
Do well.
Yeah, shake up the world. It's fun.
So
This one does that for sure.
It's good. It's good, and I think I initially underwrote it.
You did.
And now we've hung out and we've played it quite a few times.
Yeah, this is good times.
And I'm going to be sad when I have to hand this over to Board Game Co. Which I think happens literally tomorrow.
Literally tomorrow, yeah.
So,
we got our couple of plays in, or our 3 or 4 plays in, but man, I wish we could have it longer.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking out this game. Hopefully you enjoyed this Kickstarter preview. Make sure you check out that gameplay, and also go swing by and check out other content creators. My assumption is they should be also singing this game's praises.
I completely agree.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.